Jesus Christ, Maddie. Always with you. You just come in here, shit all over the place. Like you own it. Maddie, you get a point. Maddie is a thief. Maddie is a thief.
I said good day!
Good day. How you doing, Cheese? Hi, Sashi. Cheese, can you record yourself saying fucker and send it to me? Cheese, 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 Sashi. Sashi, Sashi, Sashi. Doing fine, just fine.
Badly.
Gunner, how you doing, bud? Nice to see you. We just need more, you know, we need more people to participate. So anyone, if they can send me an audio on Discord of them saying fucker, you know, kind of like the other sound bites, I would greatly appreciate it. Simply can't, Shasta. Shasta! Alright, we're making paint today, everybody. We have a super exciting slate of colors out for today, everybody. Super exciting. I'm so excited, I'm not wearing pants. Thank you, Gunner. Yeah, Gunners, here's what we get, because you got a deep, luscious voice. Rarely, Maddie. Rarely. Ugh. Alright. Diaper, no, I just let it hit the floor, Sashi. It goes away eventually. No. Why would I? So we have a few colors here. We have 4 colors, and we're probably going to do Impasto Medium today. We'll see how long these 4 take us to do. But, this is not bismuth, actually. It's cadmium yellow. I was looking through my pigments for bismuth medium. I didn't think I had any, but then I saw this, and I think I accidentally got sent this at some point. I never ordered cadmium yellow. But, or it's a mispackaging, or maybe it was in the wrong bin for them. But, this is cadmium yellow. And it's very similar, to bismuth, it's very similar in color to bismuth medium. So, since I'm low on bismuth medium, I, thought this was a good idea to make today. I actually forgot my labels, so let me go grab my labels really quickly from my baby label maker. find any pipettes either. I don't know where I put those fucking things. Yeah, right. I'm back. And I'm pissed. Alright. People are strangers when you're strangers. That's all I have left. I have some too, Sashi. I just couldn't find them. I couldn't find my bag of pipettes. And I don't know where I put them, because they're not in the spot that I thought I would have put them in. Okay. Ooh, not bad, Sashi. Slow grower. Perfectly respectable. Alright, so I have the colors listed here that we're working on today. Titanium white is the main reason I'm making paint today. I'm running low. I go through a lot of ultramarine blue, so I usually make some. I'm running low on bismuth medium, or yellow medium. This is cadmium yellow, which is a very similar hue. This is more opaque. I think I got this accidentally. I don't know how I got this, but I have it. So we're making it. And then I did notice I was running low on ivory black for Zorn palette streams, and I got one coming up. And I actually have a decent amount of bone black pigment, so we're gonna make some bone black as well. Okay. This is probably the order we're gonna go in. Any questions? Any questions? Or should I not be taking questions? The oils we're going to use today, for these three, we're going to use age-refined linseed oil. For titanium white, we're going to use pale grinder's oil, which is a more refined version for the titanium white. I have not made my titanium white with pale grinder's oil, but I use it for my lead white. This also might be a good option for the ultramarine blue for wedding purposes, but we're going to try the pale grinder's oil on the titanium white. Okay. We got our empty tubes. We have an N95 mask. Okay. This pigment is exceptionally dangerous to breathe in. It has links to cancer when you breathe in the dry pigment. Now, how strong are those? There was an actual study, an FDA study linking this. It was done in California, which has stricter laws on this, but it's still not something to fuck up, because why risk it? We got our butt plug that we are not using today to make paint with, so we're gonna mold the paint with this. We're gonna store them in these aluminum tubes that are empty. We're gonna just jam the paint up in there in these holes, and that's how we store the paint. We're gonna crimp it and label it, and then it'll be ready to go. I'm not going. Cadmium yellow does contain cadmium. Drez, are you there? So this first pigment, titanium white, not cocaine, not drugs. This is titanium dioxide, which is used in a lot of food products, and it's food safe. It is in your toothpaste. It is in a vast majority of toothpaste. It's used in a lot of packaging. And it's what titanium white is made out of. Titanium dioxide, everybody. It's not a great pigment for oil painting, but it is necessary. The color is great. The properties are shit. This was a half kilogram bag, and it for natural pigments. Or no, this was a 1 kilogram bag. I believe it was $55. I believe it's $55, Fox Girl. There are better prices. Kramer specifically has a very good price on 1 kilogram of titanium white. And so here, I'll give you some references. This half kilogram of ultramarine blue, I think, was $70. Half kilogram was $70. This bag of cadmium yellow will run you around $35 for 100 grams. 35 for 100, somewhere around that range. This bone black was probably somewhere in the range of $10 for 100 grams. They don't have the price on here. But bone black is just made from pig and cow bones, generally. Okay. All right, let's get started, everybody, huh? I want to make a good amount. Now, titanium white is one of the smaller particle size pigments, so it dusts up very easily. I believe it doesn't absorb a lot of oil. Not positive. Is this how much we want to make? We might want to make more than this. Yeah, let's just go with that. Fuck it. Hi, silver grains. So once again, I have my mask on while I'm exposed to this dry pigment. So first off, we're going to make a little well. We're going to add some of our pale grinder oil. We're going to add it until we get a thick paste. Okay? Until we get a thick paste. It's better to err on the side of having too little oil in adding it incrementally than it is to add a bunch at once and then add more pigment to it. Okay? So when I mix like this, I have learned that it's good to like kind of like really push it through at this stage because it doesn't mix like what you'd expect like flour and water to mix like. Jesus! Lizzie. I didn't know it was fucker o'clock already. Thank you, Adonet. How you doing, bud? Nice to see you. Thank you for the bits. So really forcing it through and bringing more pigment into it. And then we'll add more. I could measure this out. There is information available as far as how much oil this pigment really needs per weight. But we have an acceptable range. And so it's something I don't really bother doing when I'm making small amounts like this. Ooh, hot damn, silver grains. Eats the stream done badly. It is fucker o'clock. I'm not a fucker, Maddie.
Fucker.
Fucker. All right, Sashi. You out or not? No, Maddie was calling me a fucker. Anonymous. Thank you for the gift sub, Anonymous, whoever you may be. We're gonna find you. Who is this Anonymous? Maddie, I need you to get your goons and find out who this Anonymous is. The world will never know. Thank you for the gift sub, Anonymous. But we will find you. In this life or the next. Good. Good, Maddie. Good. We must find this Anonymous. I did not get your goons too on the case. I know you have good goons. We have to be very careful to not add too much oil, because it happens quick when you reach over that level. Now, thankfully, we have paint behind. I mean, pigment behind. So, like, if we get too wet with it, it won't be a huge issue. Good. Good out of net. Oh, fuck. There was still paint on this. Alright, let's get that out of there. This is Tit White Hanser. How you doing, bud? Ooh, that sounds nice, Sashi. Now, one interesting thing about making pigment and why you also, making paint is you have to be careful of with the amount of oil you add. Is pigments have different rates at which oil is absorbed through it. And that really comes into play with like ultramarine blue. And so sometimes it just won't absorb and it will stay thicker. But over time, it will get wetter. Even without molding it, or make it looser, less viscous. Hi, Emmanuel. How you doing, bud? Maybe just add a little bit more oil. We're gonna do a little bit more oil. It is a lot cheaper, Lechesis. It is a lot cheaper. You save a lot of money. You also get a better selection of pigments. You also get to choose everything that's in your paints, which you don't get to normally. Specifically referring to additives. Hi, Mud. Someone say it, let's share. Easy. How are you today, Mud? Okay. So we got a thick paste here. A thick paste. Just making sure essentially that there's as little or no dry pigment, like there's a little bit, and we're just continuously working it through in this first mixing. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our butt plug Nice. What are you having today, Mud? That over here. That makes sense, Cheese. They are surprisingly sharp, and I have cut myself pretty bad on them before. And you're a stranger. Okay, so now we're going to take our butt plug. Keep on seeing little dots of it. Let's just get out of here. Okay. All right, I'm going to take off my mask now. All right, we're going to take our butt plug. And we're going to start kind of working it around. Son of a bitch! Who did it?
Fucker.
You're a fucker. And we're gonna start dispersing the oil around the pigment. Now, since this is so thick, this is a sticky mess. But hopefully, it will loosen up a little bit more comfortably. You'll see it start to gloss out more and be smoother. Now, I could add a little bit more oil to this, but I'm going to wait. And I'm going to spread it out so I can get more coverage over more of the paint.
I have been lifting weights and doing cocaine all day!
Jesus, you have a problem, Jan. This is badly unmasked. Hey, Jamboree. How you doing, bud? So maybe... So this is very sticky. I might add a little bit more oil to this. So let's recoup this all. And you can see we're going to have a lot better texture already. Regoop. It is very goopy. But I have learned, this is anecdotal evidence, okay, everybody? But I have learned that the paint that has performed the best in tube has a less liquidy viscosity, right? A tight, like a thicker viscosity to it. All right. So we have to be very mindful of that. So we're just gonna add maybe one more little drop like that of oil. Oh, that was probably a little bit too much, but we'll see. But we still need to make sure that there is enough oil, okay? So we're just going to work that amount of oil through. I think it purely depends on how it binds itself together, Jan. Okay, so that's... Okay, that feels better to mull. So we're going to mull this for a little bit. Make sure we get all the... good coverage. Jesus! Hanser. The hell? There's a couple ways. I do it by eye and feel, Sashi. You know, I've made titanium white now probably 8 separate times. I have recollection of how they kind of react in the tube. And, you know, it's not a very finite thing. Because there's an appropriate range of oil and pigment. Okay? Now, if I was adding additives... I would measure things out because those are relative. Their effects are relative to the weight. But since we're just using oil and pigment, it actually makes that process a lot simpler. I have to put a lot of force into this. Scrape down the molar. I'd say it's different than baking, where some things do have to be more exact, right? But it's, you know, I'd liken it to, I don't know. If you've made, like, I guess certain doughs, you can understand the hydration level of a bread dough, right? By look and feel, right? It's kind of that understanding, right? What's the hydration level of this pigment? And you can kind of do that by look and feel. You could use this right now, Jamboree, as a paint, but you shouldn't eat it. Never eat the paint. You goddamn son of a bitch. When you're a stranger. Yeah. Don't eat the paint. Stop it, Maddie. See if the big boy will pick this up. Oh. Fuck it. Okay, so now we just mix it up. We have, so one thing to look out for when you know you're at an okay spot molding is if you kind of get a good glisten and the texture feels silkier, I guess is like the right word. So we are at the point of kind of getting diminishing returns from molding. And this is one of the biggest drawbacks of making paint by hand, is that you are going to be unable to achieve texture effects through your pigment with the tools we have on hand. So usually paint is made, any company that sells and makes paint, they use something called the 3 mil roller to make paint, and they can apply, basically they run the paint and pigment through rollers that put pressure under the oil paint mixture, and they do it in some cases 5, 6, 7 times on the same batch to ensure they essentially have perfect like emulsion. And also between the use of additives, they can get specific texture out of the paint that they make. Companies that do this very well are like Michael Harding. Williamsburg in a very opposite way. It allows you to also use less oil because, you know, my physical limitations as a human are much less than that of a machine. Anonymous gifter? What the fuck? I will find you. We will. We must. Thank you, anonymous gifter. Thank you. That is very kind. But I don't know who they are. You anonymous son of a bitch. That is very kind. Alright, so now we get to tubing, everybody. Now we get to the tubing part of this. Alright. Now, I could mix this. So titanium white is extremely strong. An extremely strong tinting pigment. I could mix this with some impasto medium if I want to. But I think I'm just going to not at this point. But that is an option we can do. Okay, if we wanted to extend it. But now we're just going to... Should we do the parchment paper technique, Shasta, or should we do just jam it in there with since we're using a large tube, we can use the parchment paper technique. Since we got a large tube, this is easier with this. Okay, so the easy way to transfer paint to a tube. I've used syringes, like big plastic syringes before. Another way is we're gonna make a cylinder using parchment paper, and we're gonna jam it in that tube. This will have some loss, but so does every other method that I've used. Okay. When we're doing it manually, that is. Okay. When you're a stranger. So now we got all the paint transferred to this. We got a little bit of a log. Now what we're going to do is we're going to roll this up. Okay. Okay. Once again, not drugs. All right. This is a heavy amount. Okay, and now we're gonna jam it in the ass of this tube. Okay. Shove it in there, unannounced. Crimp the end and start kind of squeezing it down. Now, be careful at this stage because I've had some ruptures at this point. With how I paint, Lechez, this amount will probably last me 2 months. Probably 2 months with how much I paint. And how much paint I use. Now, I'll say this. For certain people, this would last them a year. There are some people who use very little paint. You know, it's all relative, right? I do paintings with a lot of paint. I don't skimp on my paint. And, you know. But, you see, we got pretty much all that out of there. There's a little bit here. I'm trying to avoid hitting the edges of the top. Good. So there is some waste in here, but you can see it's not a ton. It really is not a ton. You know, maybe like a 1 to 2% loss, right, with this method. But in every way we transfer paint to this tube, we lose some. Okay? Okay. So now the last part of this is we're going to make sure it's settled at the bottom as much as we can. So you can see inside of there, right? There we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to find where the paint is. And then we're going to crimp. Oh, see, I ruined this. I ruined another glove, everybody. Okay. All right. So now we force the air out of it. Now you could do it with just pliers, where you crimp the end like this. Okay. But I do that, and then you'd fold it over, crimp again, fold it over, crimp again. But I got this wonderful tool for getting paint out of tubes that also works in this capacity. Okay. And this crimps it a bunch to help seal that paint in there. Okay. As you can see. So that's how much paint we made. Okay, this is probably somewhere in the range of 80 to 90 milliliters. Okay, but then we're just going to bend over a few of these and re-crimp with our pliers just to be safe. I do have a, I have this thing. Pickles got it for me. It was very kind of her. Okay? And there we go. We got a sealed tube of paint. And a ruined glove. Ooh la la. And now we're going to take our labels from our baby label maker. It was very kind of her. And we're going to put on a titanium white label. There we go. Okay. There we go. We have paint, everybody. Now let's clean up. Let's put on another glove, because we fucked this one up. I don't know how I keep on cutting the thumb of my gloves. And it's not my time. It's happened twice in a row now. So to clean up, we're just going to wipe everything down with solvent. And we're going to make sure we're very clean here. Because, once again, you don't want... Titanium white will mix like a son of a bitch if there's any remaining on the palette. But you don't want this to mix in with the next... color. And we're clean. Perfectly clean. Not a single issue here.
Move this man!
Shut up, Maddie! I lost. How you doing, bud? Okay. Yeah, Ron Johnson. I usually start around 3:30 to 4 p.m. CST. 3:30 to 4 p.m. CST. You're an hour early, generally. That's an hour early. I did say hi to you, and I asked you a question, Drez. You're the fucker. I asked you a question that you ignored. What was the question? I believe it was about pale grinder's oil with titanium white. Son of a bitch! If you have any experience with pale grinder's oil, or know if that would change anything. Man, this titanium white's the son of a bitch. Okay, laugh it up. You're welcome, Ron. How are you doing today, bud? Now, titanium white is going to be one of the hardest pigments to clean up because of its opacity and small pigment size. So you're going to have to go over this. This is a paper towel. You don't? Okay. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Fine, just fine. Alright, we're gonna do one more wipe down. Gotta make sure that this shit's clean. Ba-dum-tsh. Because titanium white is a bitch to clean. God, I kind of want to do one more solvent pass. I think we're going to. Like I said, titanium white is one of the hardest pigments to clean. But it's very important that you clean this very well, especially with a pigment like titanium white. A pigment like a weaker tinting strength, so like if we were cleaning like a Viridian or lead white, actually, lead white would clean very easily. But in the context of titanium white, one you got to be very careful with. in this clip. I've already made it. I've made one. I've made titanium white. We made this amount of titanium white so far. Yeah, to actually extract titanium is quite a bit of a process out of net. It was what, Alcoa, or what was the name of the company? Alcoa, I think, figured it out originally. They also, same with aluminum, by the way. Aluminum had a very particular process to actually extract from the ground. It's not like iron or something like that. And that's why it took a while for us to kind of like discover and use aluminum. Okay. All right, we're clean enough. All right, anonymous gifter. Anonymous gifter, you can pick the next color that we make. Cadmium yellow, ultramarine blue, or ivory black. Anonymous gifter. You can choose the next color. All you have to do is reveal thyself. All you have to do is reveal thyself. Will this work? Anonymous gifter. Ivory black. Are you the anonymous gifter, Mr. Pigments? Drez? All right, we'll do ivory black next, though. Because anonymous gifter did not reveal themselves. I tried. I tried a honey pot. Okay. So this is an ivory black from Kramer Pigments. I've never made it from Kramer. I ordered it when I was still using ivory black as a part of my palette. But the only time I use ivory black is for when I do the Zorn palette. Roasted cattle and pig bones. Okay, so this is 100 grams. I forget what the yield is out of ivory black. So if you're a vegan, this is not a pigment for you. But we're going to do all 100 grams. So this is from carburized pig and cow bones, everybody. Yeah. I got my mask on. Now, I believe this has a pretty high level of oil needed, but once again, we are going to be careful. Don't eat the pigment, Garg. God damn it. You're a menace. Hand in your gun and badge. You're a wild card. Now this one, I don't really care that much about being... I know this requires a decent amount more oil than titanium white. It's a little less persnickety. I believe it requires a decent amount of oil from what I recall last time I made it. Don't eat it. The worst to eat? The arsenic ones. The arsenic or mercury-based pigments. Mike Rochburns. How you doing, Crotchburns? Nice to see you. The single best name in Twitch, everybody. Mike Rochburns. Yeah, that just soaked up all that oil. Good. Good. So once again, we're just going to be mixing it through. Going to be mixing it. Pushing the oil through it as much as we can. This stuff just gobbles up oil, huh? 50%? I knew it was a lot. I just haven't made it for a while, so. What is cadmium yellow, Trez? $17 to $20. I don't know it offhand, but it's just cadmium yellow. It's not cadmium yellow light or lemon. It's just cadmium yellow. Okay. Good to know. God damn it. What are the bismuths at? Do you know, Drez, what the bismuths are at? I remember them being kind of a small amount, but I could be wrong. But I also remember a difference between lemon and medium. 20 to 30? Okay, so it's more than I expected. So I gotta be very careful with the cad yellow, the amount of oil I add. Oreos are great, aren't they? Let's get some of this pigment that's fell off over here. Mike Rochburns, you're missing out, bud. I have not done that, Lost, but it does sound good. I'm still... Have they done Nutella yet? Nutella-filled Oreos? Oh, gotcha. Okay. We might be low on oil, but notice, I want everybody to take note of this this chunky peanut buttery texture we have now. It might need more oil, but I'm gonna wait on that. You know, we're at a thick paste, but you can see how not smooth it is. Okay. I do breathe heavy. Fox girl, that is a soundbite. All right, Pickles. All right, Maddie. Personal trivia question for you. Well, I have a black cloud that constantly follows me around. All right, Maddie. Maddie, I'm going to give you 3 guesses. I'm going to give you 3 guesses, okay? I'm going to give you 3 guesses for this, and I need 2 answers for it. So there's 2 answers to this. You get 3 guesses for the 2 answers. I will verify if you have any correct after each guess. Okay? Maddie, name me 2 pigments that that historically used piss or shit to make. Probably need... Oh my god, is that stuck? Jesus. We're gonna add more oil to this. It's easy to move around, but I'm not getting the gleam. So I think that there's not enough oil in this. Thank you, Fox Girl. I'm very masculine and strong. Orpiment and verdigris. Maddie, you have 1 correct. Two more guesses. Orpiment, Brielgar. Maddie, you have 0 correct. Maddie, you have 0 correct. Son of a bitch. You got 1 more guess, Maddie. But remember, you get 2. You get 2 as a member of the Midnight Society. It is. You're all cursed. Whoever's watching this is cursed. We still might be low on oil. We don't have the glisten. Come on. Oh, you fuck. Verdigris and King's Yellow. Maddie, you are incorrect. Maddie, I said piss or shit, right? Verdigris, Flake White, Indian Yellow were answers you could have used. Anonymous Gifter? Oh, who are you? Who is this Anonymous? We will find out. Maddie, what have your goons learned? What have your goons what have your goons learned about who this Anonymous Gifter is? I don't know, Maddie. I didn't think you'd get Verdigris. I thought, like, I thought you'd remember Flake White. We got a little glisten out of this. We're going to mix this through a little bit. All right, Maddie, you got another question. So, Mike Crotchburns, Flake White was made by taking a lead sheet, rolling it up like a bun, like a cinnamon bun. Then they put it into a clay pot, and they put vinegar in the clay pot and submerge part of the lead in there. They'd cover the pot, and then they'd bury it in horse shit, okay? Traditionally horse shit, but I believe other shits could use. And then a chemical reaction would happen to the lead that would make it turn white and flake off. And that was what lead white or lead carbonate was made.
Weapons.
Oh my god, Nenyathil. Oh my god. Welcome in. Welcome in. What were you working on? Get in here or else. We're on a poop and piss conversation currently, yes. Oh, did you, Drez? Hi, King. I think we need a little bit more oil in this. Well, welcome in. What were you working on? And please post your links or else. Nenny Ethel, give me those links or boy, are we going to have a problem. Uh-oh, ads. Shit, ads just started. Fuck. We're going to add a little bit more oil to this. You don't want to know, Maddie. I feel bad. I get a raid in and then ads start immediately. Damn it! All right, Maddie, you ready for your next question? Oh, wait. Good, Maddie. Good. Good threat. Good threat. Good. Show him who's boss. Good job, Maddie. It certainly is that Fox girl. And you could think, an anonymous gifter, please, you know, take your credit. And, you know, everybody wants to thank you who've been given subs from you, anonymous gifter. So we're going to do another round of mulling on this. Tyrion Purple, I believe, was the most expensive by weight, okay? Historically, accounting for inflation. Okay? Pure Ultramarine, though, or Pure Lazurite, was also very much up there. But I believe Tyrion Purple was worth more. All right, good. Nenny Ethel, give us those links. God damn it. Who was it who asked? Crotchburns. Straycation, thank you for the follow. Crotchburns, are you still there? Yeah, so the other two made from piss or shit listed. Hi, Omizu. Ooh, nice work, Nene. Very fun. Maddie, you'd like these. Very cute. So in the case of the piss, Crotchburns, is diabetic cows from India who ate mango leaves, where piss was very deep yellow orange, and somebody had them collect the piss and they dried it out and they made it into a usable pigment. Not very light fast though. And then the other one, Verdigris, was made in a similar fashion to Flake White, where they used the vinegar with copper salts and then the shit again. And that made a pretty vibrant green for the time Period. Come on. You son of a bitch. Good. Everybody go follow Nene's Instagram now. Well, they saw that they saw the guy, it was, I believe it was an English guy, possibly Dutch, noticed how deep of a and saturated of a color these specific cows' piss was. And, you know, pigments were rare. And if they had some knowledge of the industry, it's not actually a far fetch. I don't know how the Greeks figured out lead white. What most likely happened was that they had mixing bowls made from lead, and somebody left wine in there. They'd mix wine in lead bowls to sweeten them. And wine will eventually turn into vinegar over time. So I imagine it was an accident with that, is how they discovered lead white. That's my best guess. I think we're at a decent texture here. Well, I mean, like, that's exactly how bread and yeast was discovered. Like, yeast bread was discovered. They let like, basically bread and water, flour and water mixed together, and they noticed that it bubbled up and got bigger. And then somebody baked it, and they're like, oh, hey, this is good. Like, that's how, like, I believe it was the Egyptians discovered yeast. Exactly, Garage Burns. Now, the verdigris is a different one. I don't know how they would accidentally do that. Penicillin, yep, penicillin. At the University of Wisconsin, at the same lab as my sister studied at. She told me that story, actually. University of Wisconsin was the lab that discovered penicillin. From cantaloupes, I believe. It was cantaloupe. Oh, no, they figured out the way to mass produce it. It was how to mass produce it, I believe. Sorry. Yeah, very possibly, King. Or could it, I mean, like, honestly, King, it probably would have, they probably discovered honey, and they liked how sweet it tastes, so they just mixed it with water to drink it. And then somebody left some out, and then tried it, and then noticed, you know, and didn't get sick and die. That there might have been more intention. So the point being is, give people less credit, everybody. Give people less credit.
Fire the nuclear weapons.
Oh my god! Song of Ysera. Welcome in, bud. Jesus Christ. Hi, Parkers and Quinn. Parkers and Quinn. This is actually pretty decent yield. No worries, song. I make all of them, John Doe. I make all of them. And I plan on selling it in the future once I get a machine. How you doing, Ezram? Yeah, I'll do a historical paint fact. But first, Sarah, give us your sweet, delicious links or else. I am having a good day, John. I hope you are too. Post your links now or else. Alright, I guess we're going to use another big tube for this because there's a good amount in here. So, we're going to scrape all this paint into a log. It is Rochburns. It's an interesting thing. Give me the links. Okay, good. Everybody go follow Song of Sarah's links. Their Instagram now or else. Or we're gonna have a problem. That's all I got, so I swear is it. Alright. But if I see any links that went unposted, oh boy, are we gonna have a problem. Song does do fantastic work. I highly recommend if any of you are into like fantasy work. I mean, just art in general, but really exceptional fantasy stuff. Check it out. Today we're making paint. This is ivory black, or in the industry they call it bone black. The pigment is made from pig and cow bones. Everybody, pig and cow bones. They are a sweeping. Did I fuck up another glove? Oh my god, I did. What the hell? 2 gloves? Okay. Well, it is the tease all you perverts. Okay. True, Jamboree, true. Okay, so now we're gonna roll this up. Alright, and then we're going to jam it in the ass of this tube. Okay. Just get it all up in there. Just work it in. Then we're going to crimp the end and twist. Then we're gonna get this last little bit that we didn't get out. The thickness of this one made it a little bit more difficult to get out, but we'll get it. We'll get it in there. The thing that you want to avoid is hitting the sides of the top of the tube, because that will make a bunch squeeze out and it'll make a mess. Now we just stamp it down. Trying to get the air bubbles out of it. To make a very fun noise. Okay. Alright, so it's hard for you to see because it's not reflecting well. But we're about like roughly like right here full. So we're gonna now crimp. Ooh. I fucked that up. True. Okay. We actually made a little bit more than I expected. Okay. Clean this off a little bit. Now we're going to take our crimpers. Now I do have plenty for the Zorn. Crimp the end a little bit more than the others. Maddie, the next stream is going to be a Zorn stream. Alright, and then we're going to take our specialty crimper, courtesy of our mod Pickles. And we're gonna crimp this son of a bitch to the end of the paint. Okay. Then we're gonna bend the end over a couple times and re-crimp it just to make doubly sure. Most likely Wednesday, Maddie. Most likely Wednesday. I'll let you know if anything changes. And we'll do one more time for good measure. Now you don't need to do that like specialty crimp part. I'm just doing it because I have it. Okay, good. All right, that's ivory black. Then we're just gonna grab a label. From our baby label maker. Good. All right. Bone black, everybody. Let's clean up. Let's clean up. Oh, I owe a historical paint fact. Shit. Sorry, Ezram. I owe you a fact. Alright. We can talk about... too much. Too much. Varies how much. I have to waste it. I paint with lead. I don't have an option to use rags. Alright, Maddie, let's do your dehydrate. Ooh. Alright, let's talk a little bit about... I guess we'll talk about, because it's related to what we were talking about with discoveries, but like kind of the discovery of pigments, right? So, basically, pigments had their phases of being of like implementation in the discovery of essentially new technology, right? So cave paintings were made from pigments that were largely found in the ground or that happened kind of with natural living functions. So a lot of cave paintings were done with almost strictly ochres and carbon black from like charcoal, or lamp black, which was made from soot, right? From like fires, all right? And so ochres, they could pick up off the ground. They could pick up rocks on the ground, use their saliva or animal fat, as Drez informed me the other day, as a binder, and they draw on cave walls. Thank you, Stray Station. So then the next major discoveries that we know of are between the Han Dynasty and Egypt, and in some cases the Mayans, were the discovery of lake pigments, which are essentially like dyed pigments. Like you use a dye to color chalk or something else and use that as a pigment, right? And in addition to this, it was intentionally mining minerals like ultramarine blue or lazurite, orpiment, realgar, cinnabar, malachite, and azurite for their specific colors and use those as pigments, right? They also advanced the medium, as in that they started using egg tempura or egg protein as a binder. And it went through advancements and basically refining the pigments, right? So, like, yes, they could mine orpiment, realgar, cinnabar, ultramarine, but how clean could they get the pigments of other, we'll say, discoloring other minerals within them, right? Because, like, ultramarine blue price range wildly because of how clean you could make it, right? So there's, in lazurite, when you mine it, there's a lot of chalk, there's a lot of mica. Or pyrite, my apologies. Pyrite, okay? And the more you had in that, the less clean of a blue you got, right? So other technological advancements were ones that advanced in the methodology of cleaning the pigments or refining the pigments to get stronger, cleaner colors, right? Next, we had the age of using oil as a primary binder. And now they started to get into more chemistry-based, or not oil, sorry. Prior to this, the next step was like chemistry or chemical reaction-based process of making pigments, right? We have, like I talked about, lead white. We have verdigris. We had minium. There was what other? I believe the Naples lead-based colors were fairly early, or at least the discovery of them was. Not positive on the year on that one, right? But this led us into the age where oil became the primary pigment, and international trading became a lot more prevalent, right? And new colors for lakes were being used and discovered and traded, and new, essentially, chemical formulations of pigments came, you know, kind of with every century. And this, like, and it was kind of like chases. Like there was a long time, a lot of research dedicated to making artificial ultramarine blue, right? And it led to the discovery of other pigments like Prussian blue, and there was even like governmental, I believe it was France, that had a contest where they would offer a monetary prize for anybody who discovered artificial ultramarine blue. It does to a certain point, but especially with younger people. Obviously, older people, if they ingest a lot of it, or, you know. What's more scary is how commonly it was ingested purposely. Oh my god! This story.
Fucker.
I'm not a fucker. You're the fucker. Good. Okay. All right. We have 2 more colors. Anonymous gifter, if you'd like to pick the next color, just let me know. We have 2 left for today. We have ultramarine blue green shade, and we have cadmium yellow. Anonymous gifter, what would you like me to do next? Anonymous gifter? Huh? Alright, looks like they're not gonna say who they are. Let's see. Rochburns. Yellow or blue for the next one? Blue? Okay. More. Just a lot of remnants on this. And the colors of Ukraine. Which I am half. All right, everybody. All right, so we're going to put on our mask. All right, ultramarine blue is a weird pigment because it has a very weird wetting property. That means how does the oil soak through? So I just put on my N95 mask. Okay. And we'll do that much. We want a smaller tube. This usually doesn't yield a particularly great amount. Okay. All right. So what this means is the oil will soak through more over time, so we have to kind of be patient with it. And oh, Jesus Christ. And we have to be a little bit more forceful with the mixing. Now I have more pigment behind. Okay. So it's not a huge deal if we make it too wet because we could always add more pigment. But it will resist kind of mixing with oil initially. So you kind of got to really force it through. Now Rublev makes the when With green shade, they use linseed oil, but with red shade, because the pigment has different wetting properties, they actually use walnut oil. Also, fun note, ultramarine blue smells like sulfur. Smells like home. Sulfur and brimstone. I'm wearing an N95 mask currently, Lichez, to protect myself from inhaling dust. When I can afford it, I will get a heavier end respirator. So I'm going to be patient with this and just kind of like really force it through initially before I add more oil to it, because this loosens up a ton over time. And a little bit more. Not familiar with them, Rochburns. You better not, Party Shark. Don't eat the paint. Don't eat the paint, Party Shark. Don't do it. Uh-oh. Wait, what did you do? Spit it out. What did you do? Don't eat it. Don't listen to Maddie. Maddie's a terrorist. Maddie's a stream terrorist. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, go get some Ipecac. God damn it, Party Shark. We are not. We are anti-pain eating and drinking. Nothing particularly bad. It's just ingesting is not really an issue for a lot of paints, frankly, your Rochburns. It's breathing it in. You can marathon that. Jesus Christ, Party Shark. However, there are plenty of pigments that eating will, you know, I use lead-based pigments. There's cobalt-based pigments that can be dangerous if you ingest a lot. But frankly, very few pigments are dangerous from minor ingestion. Very few. The big risk with pigments is almost exclusively breathing them in. Is breathing in dry pigment. Ooh, that might have been too much. We'll see. We might be all right. Party Shark, thank you for the follow. You might be cooked. Yeah, you might be cooked, Party Shark. Well, at least your last days are going to be stuck in the stream. There's no leaving. You are stuck here forever. So, good luck. Make friends. Nope, not an option, Party Shark. Not an option. Very much so, Shasta. And way more painfully. No, it's not silicosis. It's different pigments have different you know, like, so for example, there are copper-based pigments, which has its own issues. There are cobalt-based pigments. There are titanium-based pigments. There are iron-based pigments. So cadmium has a specific cancer link. So there are just a lot of different things that can affect you based on the metal that you breathed in, essentially. So it's relative to the toxicity of those pigments and how well they can get into your bloodstream. The fact of the matter is when you ingest pigments by eating, the chance of them getting into your bloodstream is very low for a lot of them. But when you breathe them in, it's a lot different. They're the exact same. The toxicity is not relative to the oil, Rochburns. It's relative to the pigment. There is no difference. Linseed oil, what we're mixing this with, is made from flaxseed. So if you've ever eaten anything with flaxseed, you have eaten oil. That is used in oil paints, not toxic. This might be a little bit too liquidy. We'll see. Might be a little bit too liquidy. And I think I'm going to add some more pigment to this. That is true, Shasta. If there's solvents added, oh, that was probably a little too much. But if solvents were added, then yes, very bad for you. Possibly, but I'd be willing to bet, Foxgirl, that that emulsifier that they use is not. I have not particularly looked into it. But emulsifiers are not inherently a bad thing. Do you notice any quality difference or better or worse when the paints you make for... Oh, of course. Mainly with the pigment strength. And I guess the purity of the color. Right? Because most companies use a lot of additives and they use fillers. They lose a lot of strength when mixing. And that is very noticeable between the paint. So if you use like store-bought oil paints and you use the ones I made, it would shock you the difference between the tinting strength between them. Because most companies would add about an equal amount of chalk to this. They would do everything in their power to add as little pigment as possible. Yeah, so John Doe, there are companies that do better than me, specifically Rublev. Rublev makes only pigment and oil-based paints. That is their gimmick. Mimiri Puro, but you do pay for it, John. You do pay for it, okay? Mimiri Puro, I also think is pretty much straight oil and pigment based on the 3 that I've used. The best value for pigment or strength and other aspects, so like I know that they use fillers, but the best value I have gotten relative to that is Williamsburg. If you're just looking to buy from one company, I'd probably recommend Michael Harding or Rublev. The biggest ones I'd advise you to never buy would be Old Holland, Winsor Newton, and Winton. The cheapest brand I'd recommend is Gamblin. Williamsburg is a good brand. Is a very good brand. I need like a drop. Okay. That might be enough, actually. Is it comparable in terms of cost, I guess, per milliliter, since obviously there would be a lot of upfront costs? The upfront cost to make your own is not that much, Foxgirl. Between the glass molar, a piece of glass, palette knives, and tubes, you can get those for less than $100. Less than $100. You could make them back if you paint regularly with oil paints. You could easily make back all your money in like 6 months if you paint regularly. For somebody like me who paints a lot and uses a lot of paint, that cost I make up for those material costs in like 2 months. No joke. Like lead white, making my own lead white, even though I take on that risk, I save probably about 75%. For burnt umber, I save like 80%. For any natural earth color, you're going to save like 80%. There are certain colors where I save very little, but I don't really use those colors. You also get to choose what's in it. So like you also get other benefits.
Nuclear weapons.
Jesus Christ! Jess, I was watching you today. Hi, Jess. Hi, Dia. Make and paint. How are you, Jess? Jess, give us those links. And send those Fat Bob pictures. Welcome in, Jess. Nice to see you. I hope you're well. Aaron L., thank you for the follow. Jess was here for the first paint making stream. Yep, you've been here since the first one. We're making ultramarine blue currently. We're about to bust out the butt plug to mold it. Good. Everybody go follow Jess. Wonderful artist, mixed media, does a lot with oils, does a lot with drawing now, markers, watercolors. Wonderful, wonderful artist. And a great friend of the stream. This is not Jamboree. Butt plug! Oh, get that fair. I'm going to, Jess. The butt plug is incoming. Hi, TM Spencer. All right, let's get out the butt plug. All right. So you can see how thick this is, everybody. This is really thick and stiff. And I'm not just saying that to be a pervert. Hi, Armpit. How you doing, bud? All right, so we got our molar. Now we're just going to move it around until it starts to loosen up. It's going to be very difficult at first because of how thick we made this. Don't sort it. I like them thick. Jess, what were you sorry, you already shared. Never mind. I saw the first half hour of your stream. No worries, Jess. Jess, how's Fat Bob? We're going to keep on doing this until it starts to loosen up. And you'll see how much looser this becomes. But this does take a good amount of elbow grease. He's so cute, Jess. Fat Bob is so cute. And it looks like he looks like an affectionate cat. That is true. Well, this is why perverts gravitate towards this stream. But they'll slowly loosen up.
Quit playing with your dinghy.
I will not. Be the day I die. Sounds like you did. 2 hands. Indeed, 2 hands. I'm not a taint. I clearly am not. True. Okay, let's scrape this up for an initial goop scrape. Oh. Ooh. Back up to 3, Dia. Back up to 3. So we got a really thick pile of ultramarine. I'm very scared of even adding a drop of oil to this. I really am. You certainly are, Dia. But we're gonna roll through this one more time because it'll probably continue to loosen up. God damn it. Just flinging paint all over the goddamn place. Really has silver grains. So that's what the molar does, though. So the molar forces oil around the pigment particles.
Wow.
Ooh. Thank you, Bracket. Ooh. Appreciated. So, so that's why it will, like, start to glisten more and seem less grainy. And it will seem more liquidy the more I do this, with the same amount of oil and pigment. Right? Think of it similarly to, like, the hydration period with bread. Right? You know, like the autolyse with bread when you're doing bread making, where you let the water hydrate through the bread. If this kind of is like that. For paint. I'm going to. I think I do need to add like 2 drops of oil. So we're gonna try and do this. All right, that should be enough. We have to be very careful with this one. Good night, TM. I used to be into bread making quite a bit. In like 2017 or 2016, I had like a 2-year stretch where I did a lot of bread baking. It's just hard for me to keep up with the starter. You can see the color, though. I love when you see the colors like this. Not bad, silver grains. That's tough to do. God, we're actually gonna add a few more drops of oil. Very little. You could say that max wattage. And Jess, thank you again for the raid. That is very kind of you. Okay. Come on. Okay. He's baking bread badly. I had some good ones. I had plenty of hockey pucks. So we're gonna mix this up and maybe do another pass through. This ultramarine blue has such a strong sulfur smell. It's very interesting. Well, this is just, I just mixed pigment and oil max wattage. So this is how, this is the basic way of making oil paint by hand. So we still got a little bit of graininess. We're not going to get rid of it all, but we're going to do one more pass through on that. So we're going to spread it around again. It's better to keep it a little bit in the middle and push it out, though. Hot damn, Mr. Salt. Oh my god. That is disgusting. Holy shit. Big dick salt. Big dick salt. Jesus fucking Christ. God damn it, Lizzie. I'm doing alright. I'm doing alright, Salt. Interesting. Why am I not seeing the chat from... Sorry if I've been missing chat. Why is my other chat not working? Hold on. Timing. There we go. That's a lot, Armpit. Jesus Christ. That's what? She streams 4 times a week? So that's like a year and a third? A year... Hot damn, Armpit. Yeah, that's over a year. 208 times per year? Come on. Yeah, this might be still too little oil. Playing with a little bit of fire here. Playing with a little bit of fire here. Yeah. Yeah, you were at 10 at that one, Salt. Yeah, it was a stream that I was doing plain air and I just couldn't connect. And I had to end it after like 20 minutes because it was just disconnecting every 45 seconds. Yep. Is that true? I wonder by what standard they're saying it's the most complex. Because I would expect cobalts to be more. I'd also expect Yinmin to be more. Okay. I think we've molded this enough. Come on. Now we got a good sheen on this. The texture is pretty good. Little bit of graininess there, still there, but you know, we can only do so much. Yeah, so it will continue to wet. But, you know, the molding process is still very necessary, silver grains, because if there was, like, little pockets of dry pigment, that oil would not absorb through it reliably. So, you, like, molding, if you don't mold, your paint is going to have dry patches within it that will fuck it up. Okay. All right, we got that cleaned off. Make sure our palette knives are clean enough. Okay. Now, time to tube it up. I do, Quirky. I got a black cloud that just constantly follows me around. I got a black cloud that constantly follows me around, and I just can't get rid of it. I'm the Eeyore of Northern Illinois. Hi, quirky female. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. All right. Well, good. And you found the right place. All right, so now we're going to just jam this paint into this tube where we're going to keep it, okay? I'm not using the, I'm not going to be using the parchment paper method. We're just going to jam it all up in there without warning it. Hope this all fits in here. God damn it. Alright, I'm gonna have to bust this out into 2 tubes. Beans and toast. Beans and toast. It won't fit all into this 1 tube. I was aiming for 1 tube, everybody. So we're gonna have to scoop some of this out. How am I going to see that? Okay. That should be enough to seal, or that should be... We gotta make sure we seal it correctly. Doing my best, Ezram. Okay. And then we'll get it in this other one. I was aiming for one tube. We overshot it, unfortunately. So we have to use another tube. Kind of a waste, but of a tube, but it's better than wasting this amount of paint. Because this is still like 6 paintings worth of paint for me for ultramarine blue. Depending on how dark the painting is. If I sold it, yes, it could salt. If I sold it, I could. Like, if, what a two-way. Shut up, Fox Girl. If, like, honestly, if a company made paint with just pigment, for this amount of paint, they'd probably charge $20. Like Winsor Newton, if they use this much pigment in a tube, they would probably charge, probably $25 for it. Winsor Newton, $25 to $30. The tubes are only $1 a piece. These small ones are more like 40. The large tubes are $1 a piece. The small tubes are about 50 cents. It's not like financially a huge waste, but I don't like. I don't want to like underfill a tube. Is like the point. So I'm gonna have like a really small tube of paint lying around. So it's more of like I should have, you know. It would have been better to, you know, in this case, make a little bit more. So I could fill up 2 tubes and save my time. Measure, like you're talking about milliliters. These tubes are meant to basically maximally hold 50 milliliters. 50 milliliter tubes. So I probably made around, it looks like I made around 60 milliliters. So now we gotta close these up. And then the next pigment we have is the dangerous one, everybody. So to close these up, what we need to do... Oh yeah, it'll clean up way better than phthalo. Alright, so we're gonna find where our paint goes down to, and it's basically here. And we're going to, from the top, push down till we reach that, but we don't want to push the paint out. Like, we have a little bit of paint coming out the tops here. But that, like, we filled it to here. You can see, we filled it to there. Well, that's because it's a larger particle, okay? Ultramarine blue is a decently tinting, has decent tinting strength, but it's a larger, much larger particle than phthalo blue. So basically, it doesn't get all up in there like phthalo blue does. Phthalo blue being the smallest particle size that I'm aware of for pigments. All right, so we just crimped the one end. We're gonna take our special crimping tool and push the paint down as much as we can. That's what we got to. Okay. This is a nice properly filled tube. And then we're gonna bend over the tube and crimp a couple times to be safe. Okay, one more time. Good. Okay. Tube sealed, ready to go. Now the other one. I will once I start selling my paint, Ezram, and start using a machine, I will. I will know how much pigment by weight I have to add for how much oil for what I want to do. See, like, we only got that amount. Shit, there might be some paint on. Shit. Well, we wasted more. But there might be some air in this, unfortunately, but we're just going to use that up right away. We'll use this tube first thing. Okay. Then we'll crimp and bend, crimp and bend. All right. Wipe off the tubes a little. All right, we get our labels. We grab our labels. We only have one ultramarine blue label left. Looks like we do. Well, we're gonna put it on the bigger tube. We'll remember the smaller tube. Okay. There we go. Yeah. All right. So we have ultramarine blue done, ivory black, and our titanium white done so far. And now we got to make our last one. It does include a red, Fox Girl. I'm mixing colors that I need, not my basic mixing palette. I don't use black in my basic mixing palette. I'm only doing that for when I do the Zorn palette. All right, let's clean up. Oh, because I forgot, when I brought that up, I forgot to change the title. Here. Good. It meant to say colors I'm mixing today. It meant to say colors I'm mixing today. Then why? You're right. I was wrong. I made a mistake.
Fucker.
Beautiful color, huh?
I award you no points,
Okay.
and may God have mercy on your soul.
But I want those points. Good, Zimzambalim. Or Zimzalabim? Zimzalabim, there we go. Zimzambalim, bop, 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 bop. Really does smell like sulfur from eggs, huh? John Doe, I use Pyrrole Scarlet. In hue, it is very, very similar to True Vermilion. Like, very similar. Probably a little bit more saturated. But no, I'm not going to use real Vermilion. It's way too expensive for a shittier pigment. But as long I got the color, I'm true to the color. Not true to the pigment. And you know, frankly, it's hard to be perfectly true, but I'm using lead white, which is probably the closest, and Pyrrole Scarlet, which is very close to what True Vermilion looked like. Might have a little bit more yellow in it. But like very similar to Cad Red Light in color. Still coming up. But then I use yellow ochre. But I don't know what yellow ochre he used, nor what region his yellow ochre came from. And that's with filler, John Doe. If you get pure vermilion... Hi, Orunk. Did I miss you saying hi? Did I miss you saying hi somewhere, Orunk? Why are you all full of piss and vinegar? But John Doe, but then, so yellow ochre is probably the biggest variation, because I suspect that the yellow ochre he used was probably less red than the one I use. Hi, Orunk. Hope you're well, bud. I also, he was most likely using ivory black made from ivory, which, apparently I've been told was more blue than modern day ivory black. And so that is also a significant variation. Jesus Christ, it's still coming up. I use a warm and cold primary palette, Arunk. So on my standard palette, I use Bismuth Vanadate Yellow Medium, which is very similar to Cad Yellow as my warm yellow. I use Ultramarine Blue as my warm blue. I use Pyro Scarlet as my warm red. For my cold yellow, I use Bismuth Vanadate Yellow Lemon, which is a very neutral, bright yellow. And then I use Quinacridone Magenta as my cold red. I might switch to a warmer quinacridone, like a more red quinacridone, but still cold red. And then for my cold blue, I use Phthalo Blue. Jesus, how is Ultramarine Blue just still coming up here? Don't know where it's coming from. still, like, you know, still get a little. Okay. I need to go grab another roll of paper towels. Tutti frutti. Gotta make sure we're clean. Gotta be clean. Alright. And then our last color for today is going to be cadmium yellow. 1 second while I grab some more paper towels. All right, so no, Orunk, ultramarine blue is a warm blue. It has a slight amount of red in it. I could directly show you that too. When I have my palette out, Orunk, next stream, I'll show you. It has no yellow in it. Or more so to say is it leans red. It leans red. Definitively leans red. Now, there might be an ultramarine blue pigment that is more green, but the common one that we use, I just said I made ultramarine blue green shade. The company I buy my pigment for sells green shade and red shade. The green shade is not green. It is still red. It is still a warm ultramarine blue. It is referencing, they use that different terminology for a difference in wetting properties. Yeah, Orunk, please remind me next time I paint, probably on Wednesday, or when I'm not doing the Zorn palette, when I have my full palette out, to show you, okay? I'll directly show you how I know it's warm. Because I can demonstrate it for you. There's a very simple demonstration that can show you. You're welcome, Orunk. Thank you, mate. All right, so we're making cadmium yellow next. There is zinc white should never be used in oil painting. That's my opinion. You should never use zinc white for oil painting. Cadmium yellow has a study on it that does have a link to cancer from inhaling dry pigment. Take it very seriously. All cadmiums have this link, okay? Wear a mask that is rated for dust inhalation, minimally an N95, which I have today. Okay, keep that mask on until it is bound in oil. Okay, especially if you plan on making paint for the rest of your life, like I do. No, but zinc white, you should. Box Girl, zinc white should never be used for oil painting. Don't let Maddie, don't joke about zinc white. It's serious. Trying to get it off of the top here. I wear latex gloves just to limit my ingestion of pigments in general. And I wash my hands afterwards. All right. So I have my N95 mask on. Okay. So I remember this I have to be very careful with the oil that I add in this one. So you don't want this to dust up. So go very slow. Go very slow. From my knowledge, yes. Well, so yes, I know the specific issue with zinc white is strictly an oil issue, but I don't have any information on if there's issues with acrylic. Okay, but the issue I'm referencing is why I say only in oil. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, it's when oil dries, it doesn't dry, it polymerizes. What zinc does is it makes oil, as it polymerizes, very brittle and causes oil to crack and flake off of paintings. Okay? If you care about your paintings lasting, and it can happen if you're strictly using zinc white, it could happen in as soon as like 3 to 5 years. Okay? So if you ever see those cracks in paintings in the museum, the reason why those are there is because the paint became brittle and the canvas or wood flexed and caused the paint layer to crack. That's what you're seeing. You know what? Yep, Isaby, this is cadmium yellow. So I gotta be very careful with this amount of oil I add. Very careful. And I realized I didn't clean my palette knives that well. Fuck. Shit. I just dusted some off. No. Lead white is the single best pigment you could use for conservation. So where lead white makes oil brittle and weak, lead white makes it very durable and lasts a long time. So lead white, the reason why they think so many paintings survived the Renaissance is because of almost the exclusive use of lead white. Oh, wait. There's blue in here still. How do I get this blue out of here? I don't want this blue to get in here. Okay. I wouldn't suggest using a white like that. Isaby. I would just recommend using lead white and titanium white are only the real usable whites. But titanium white has its own issues as well, don't get me wrong. Titanium white has several issues. Sorry, I'm just cleaning off a palette knife, everybody. Okay. So this only required a very little amount of oil. And I have to be careful because I don't have more of this behind. Hi, Burger Sleuth. I don't recommend using hues, Isabie. Hues are just mixtures of other pigments, and they call them cadmium hues so that they could charge you more. Hues are a big scam, largely, Isabie. Try and stick with paints that are only use one pigment. And only use one pigment. It will treat you well. Ooh. We do. Don't sniff the flank, comical. No, that's not the end goal, Orunk. You can only achieve so much with that. I think it should be to be able to make the colors that you want to, with the saturation and brightness you want to, with what's available, for the price that you want. There's no reason to just be like a martyr and say, I'm only going to use these colors for all my mixing. I used to think very similar, and I have, you know, changed my thought on that quite a bit as I learned more. But there's no reason to be principled on that matter. That's just, yeah, it's just elitist stuff. No dogmas, exactly. Beware of dogmatic rules in oil paint. I'll say in representational painting, okay? Because if you want to use dogmatic rules, then go get taught by somebody and learn what they do and just do what they do. And, you know, that's all your experience will be, right? Will be somebody else's creation, right? Or somebody else's process. But the fact of the matter is in my opinion, what a strong painter is, I'm not going to say artist, what a strong painter is somebody who can see, understand, adapt, and paint with their own creativity and the material and the I'll say resources they have available to do what they are trying to achieve. How you doing, Busker Hikes? Buster Hikes, there we go. Ooh, not bad, Willow Moonfire. And yeah, but what Shasta said. So here's the thing, right? I originally thought I wanted to pursue getting a teacher. But then I heard somebody say something pretty interesting on this note, is you should only get a teacher who you would be comfortable painting like, okay? Because they can really only teach you from their perspective, okay? And their knowledge that led them to where they are, okay? But what they can't teach you is how you want to paint. Anonymous! You struck again. Who is this Anonymous? What properties say hi, Chili Crunch? Well, I got to get this to a thick paste first, okay? A thick paste but I'm only adding oil little by little until I get a paste that's like thicker than peanut butter. Basically, Auroch. You have to, like, it's important to understand how you want to paint and what it takes to get there, right? But also understand that this is a creative endeavor, right? You like, the problem with dogmatic principles in painting is that it will detract from your ability to, I think, understand yourself and creatively what you want to do and how you want to approach things. Now, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of benefits to having a teacher. I'm not saying don't get a teacher or don't pursue getting taught, but understand that there's limitations and that you are going to have to adapt it to how you want to do with your, like, painting journey. I have no clue. So I'm still wearing my N95 mask because there's still a lot of dried pigment exposed, FYI. Probably gonna need one more. If someone wants to just follow hard rules, and they should just do painting by the numbers. Exactly, John Doe. Exactly. I mean, like, that's really what, like, the warning is, right? Is oil painting a creative endeavor for you where you need to make choices on an island of your own? Or are you just want to make the picture, show the picture? Well, then, yeah, you, like, you know, then if that's the case, then yeah, like, that's perfectly fine. And people find comfort in that. But it's just different, right? Then, like, understand that, like, your own want for creativity, solidarity in this endeavor. I mean, just something that's reliable and good that covers my eyes as well. Something that covers my eyes. Jesus Christ, anonymous gifter. Shasta. Oh my God. They strike again. Who is this anonymous? Aronk, my best piece of advice for you is paint and figure out what you want to do. Exactly, Mud. Mud, that's a very good way of... yeah, I need to do that at some point. That's a very good teacher, RT. They get it. They get it. This anonymous gifter, I need names. You really do, Mr. Salt. This is out of malice. This anonymous. This Hieronymus Anonymous. God, I think I'm very, very weary of adding more oil at the moment. I don't know how this molds. I got that oil. Okay. No, you're all right, Orunk. I mean, that's a common feeling, Orunk. I feel like I've lost time when I, don't feel like I'm improving. But then what do you have to do? You have to try something different than what you're doing. Or you just have to and you have to keep at it. 125, yeah. Orunk, and I don't just pick any YouTube channel. Busker Hikes, about a year and a half now. A year and a half. So I'm curious, the big question is, how does this loosen up when we start molding it? Because this is very thick, but some paints get super loose after you mold it. And so I'm weary of even adding more oil, but this is like the minimum amount of oil I can get away with at this point. Oh, no worries, do even Retro. How you doing? I remember you, Mario. I'll pick up that oil. That's fine. Okay. All right, so now is a time that it is fairly safe to take off your respirator or mask, because all the pigment is pretty stuck in or stuck around oil, so you don't have a significant risk of it of paint dusting up and getting in your lungs. Okay. All right, time for the butt plug. Oh, wait, Anonymous Gifter gifted 6 months. Wait, Shasta, you got 6 months of subs from Anonymous Gifter. I thought it was just one. Holy shit, Anonymous. Jesus Christ, cheese and biscuits. All right. All right, time to mold. Yep, 6 months, Shasta. Hot damn. So, you can see it's a pain in the balls, but it should loosen up a little bit as we do this more. And we get some of that great squishing sounds. Come on. Who is this Anonymous? Very dry. But we'll see how it continues to develop. I know, this Anonymous acts in the shadows. Anonymous, we will find you one day. We will find you, Anonymous. And you do not want that to happen. You do not. Maybe. Yeah, oh shit, wait, there's a lot over there. I could pull in a little bit more. We'll see. Because this, we could still probably add a little bit more oil. This is loosening up, but it's not loosening up tremendously. So, you know, like I said, there are some pigments that there's like literally a drop can make a huge difference. I don't know if this is one of them. But since this is my first time doing a cadmium pigment, and I don't have any more, I should wipe that up here. Hello, 3734. We are making paint. And how you doing, bud? We are making oil paint. Because on this stream, we normally paint. Oh. It is a beautiful color, though. This is a good color. I'm tempted to add, like, 3 to 4 more drops of oil to this. But maybe we can keep it like this. We need to mull it more. Let's do that. We're going to add a few more drops of oil. Are you talking about... Oh, yeah, I see it now. I see it now. Thank you. Thank you, Silvergrains. I'm gonna do a little bit more. Okay. That will be... That should be enough. No, I see it right here. But that's very little that I see. Are you talking about this right here? We're going to mix that little bit of oil that we added through. So we're going to spread this out a little bit, and we're going to remold it. it's kind of a proper looseness now. This is not a real difficult paint to mix. Not really difficult. Certain pigments, yes, but in this context, not really silver greens. Not really. So the pigments I've heard that you can overmole are specifically azurite, true ultramarine blue, come on, and malachite, where it will actively change their color the more they're grinded and mold, like if you make their particle size smaller. But that's not what we're doing here. We're not really capable of doing that in this context. All in occupants. Interplanetary. Okay. Fuck. Yeah, it's just elbow power. I do, sexy Scorpio. There's only one paint that... Well, actually, it's gone now, right? I was using Phthalo Blue from Williamsburg because I had it. But that's the last paint from a company that I really have that I use. Everything else I made myself. Interesting. Alright. I think I've molded this one enough. We'll see how it scoops up. Get out of there. Got a good texture. I don't see a lot of graininess. It's good. Sorry, I'm just wiping off this. Okay. There's a big hunk of paint there. And if anybody wants to see like a more like simpler rundown of paint making, I have a video on my YouTube just dedicated to making paint. So please subscribe. I need subscribers to YouTube, everybody. I need them. So if you could find it in your heart, to subscribe to my channel and watch every second and every minute of every one of my streams, it would go a long way. All right. Whoa. I just flicked paint on my floor, so that's good. Hope I don't forget it. Thank you, Sexy Scorpio. As a fellow Scorpio, thank you. How do I keep cutting through my thumbs? The hell is going on here? All right. I hope that's not too much for one tube. I'm actually surprised by the yield. It's a good yield. God, is that too much? I got another small. So be it. So be it. I might, Fox Girl. I might have to. So, do you know how much this bag of pigment costs, everybody? This bag of yellow pigment that I just made into a paint. How much do you think that pigment cost? $73.49? Nope. Not $73.49. $45? Nope, not $45. So it was 100 grams of cadmium yellow. 23? Nope. I think we'll have enough room. Will we? Shit, we might not. I think we're wasting another tube. I'd rather play it safe. Well, hold on. Where are we to? We're about there. Yeah, we're gonna use another tube. Shut up, Fox Girl! Shut up! This pigment, Shasta's very close. It ranges from $30 to $35 for 100 grams, which is what we used on this. I used all of it. I used all of it, RT. So, what companies do is they'll add chalk, they'll add silica, they'll add aluminum stearate, magnesium stearate, they'll add castor wax, they'll add all these different things to give you as little pigment as possible, okay? So we roughly made about 50 to 55 milliliters of paint with this. You cannot snort it, okay? So point being is when we do this, we get to control what's in our paint, what additives. We know how much, if we add additives or filler, we know how much is in there. We could get it to the point we exactly want, and we're not subject to their to the company's standards, right? So there's a lot of benefits. We get a better color selection too. I did 2, Ezra, because they were in larger tubes. These tubes are smaller than the other one. Sexy Scorpio, I buy my pigments from Natural Pigments, which is the company that makes Rublev oil paint. I also buy them from Kramer, Kremer. And I've also procured some from eBay. I also might investigate Alibaba for pigments as well in the future. I'll also implore you, when you buy pigments, a lot of companies use a lot of gimmicks, saying that they sell like natural, like there's a company called Natural Earth Pigments that acts like all this paint is super toxic and will fucking kill you, and they're just full of shit, and they overcharge you for pigments like crazy. So avoid gimmicks from companies that sell pigments. They're only doing it for marketing. Trying to get all the paint I can. Because if you don't scrape the top of the sides, a lot of this paint will get squeezed out the top, which you don't want. So you just scrape it off, and then you try and just drop it down the middle. This cadmium yielded surprisingly well, as in it made it, like the volume of paint it made was a surprisingly good amount. Okay. So now let's clean off the tubes a little bit. Just help us clean this off. This is a good color, though. So, you know, the cadmium yielded pretty well with oils. It might make me open to using this one in the future for this medium. Cadmiums are very stable oil colors. They're also very opaque, and I generally like opaqueness in my paints, even though a lot of my paints aren't fully. All right, to seal it, we're going to find to where the paint is, and it's like roughly there. And we're going to kind of pinch it down to that point. But be aware that you don't want to force up paint from the top to the top. Okay. Okay, so that's one. This made probably 70 milliliters. This is probably 60 to 70 milliliters of paint. That's pretty good yield for the price, actually. For all the talks that cadmiums are super expensive, that's not a bad yield for these colors at all. These companies are ripping you off. They're ripping you off. Gattaca. All right, now we're going to crimp it down. Good. So they're sealed up. We're just gonna bend over the top of this and crimp it down. Like this, just to be safe. Okay. Good. All right, those are sealed. Let's get our labels on them. I'm just going to call them bismuth vanadate yellow because it's the same color, but I'll know that they're cadmiums. But for there we go. Alright, so that's paint making, everybody. Now everybody can do it themselves, or they can wait for me to start selling my paint. And you could be owners of badly made paint in the future. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. Hi, Karen. You missed the entire stream. We made paint today, Karen. We made paint today. Badly made paints? True. Agreed. I like the name too. Because they're just going to be horrendous. You're going to hate them, I promise. So my plans, though, for when I do start selling them is is tell you how much pigment was used in the tube of paint that you're buying. And stuff like that to be very transparent. If I add any additives, basically do the stuff that companies won't tell you. Well, good, Ezram, good. Well, thank you, Karen.
Quit playing with your dinghy.
I will not. We don't need a D-wipe today, Karen. And I will not quit playing with my dinghy, but we don't need a D-wipe because we didn't use lead. So all you perverts are going to sleep lonely today. Well, we did not use lead. So no, my D is clean as ever. My D is clean as ever, everybody. Jesus Christ. So I guess I'm still supposed to believe that Lily can't get a... Yes, Jamboree, that's... Have you tried to open up anything child safe? It's impossible. It's impossible. There's no rhyme or reason to them. They should call them badly proof. They should call them badly proof. Oh, are you going to child proof your house for your new kid? No, we're going to badly proof it. This is me, the commercial, just falling into every sharp corner. Getting caught in every, like, loose string from, like, from blinds and stuff. Jesus! Who the hell? Oh my God, Ezram. Unbelievable. Okay. Falling occupants. God, what? There's so much still coming off. This is it's a strong pigment. It's a strong pigment, everybody. Keep on. Oh fuck! I just dumped a bunch. Okay, everybody. Jesus Christ, what the hell? I don't. I think it purely depends on where you want to get to and what you consider to be important to your process. I don't consider drawing to be important to my process. So I don't practice it. Well, then drawing might be important for you to help visualize what your imagination is. But painting from imagination is like a very difficult thing to do. Very difficult. Especially if you're trying to paint in realism. Okay. All right. That's it for today, everybody. We're not going to do the impasto. We're going to call it right there. Yep. Yeah, it still does. Well, I'm going to clean it off again, like probably next time I paint. But yeah. Well, everybody. This was just wonderful. I had a blast. Thank you, Mud. I hope you did too. And I am not exaggerating that whatsoever. But I hope you all have good nights. If you have any questions about paint making, feel free to ask me in the Discord. Please, if you're not subbed to my YouTube, would greatly appreciate if you sub to the YouTube. Thanks, Ezram. Thanks for hanging out. Anonymous, thank you for the gift subs. I will find you. I will find you, Anonymous. Anonymous. Oronk, thanks for hanging out. Ezram, Mizu, Shasu, Mud, Pickles, Salt, Dia. Oh yeah, and if anybody wants to record themselves saying fucker and send it to me on Discord, I would really appreciate it for the soundbite. So if anybody wants to record themselves saying fucker, please send it to me on the Discord. I need it for the soundbite. Okay? That is about all I got. Let's find somebody to raid. Opinion is on. Most extraordinary. Thank you, Scorpio. Wheeler's still on? Isn't this late for Wheeler? Oh, Poison Jackal's on? Poison Jackal raided me yesterday, or last stream. Well, let's raid Poison Jackal. Alright, we're gonna raid Poison Jackal, another painter, primarily acrylics. But we're gonna raid them. So make sure to raid and pillage and take all the resources for the stream. Thank you, Jamboree. You have a wonderful night. So make sure to raid and plunder and pillage. We need resources here. And yeah, next stream should be Wednesday. If not Wednesday, it'll be Thursday. Okay? We're going to be doing I think we're going to be doing a Zorn painting. Using the Zorn palette for the next stream, I believe. I don't know what I'm painting with that. Which I hate the Zorn palette, so that should be fun for all you sadists out there. And yeah, Greenbag, I'll see you in hell. Where did I put the cap for this thing? I don't know. And yeah, have a great night or day, everybody. And yeah, bye.